Hey everyone, this is Niranjana, the co-founder of CodeTigers. Welcome to the CodeTigers live show. This is absolutely your platform to learn to code, to learn artificial intelligence, machine learning, game developing, and much more. So today our guest of the day is Vikas Choudhary, the co-founder and chief technology officer at Porter.in, and the young coder of the day is Priyanshu Halder, a class 2 student of GD Goenka Public School, Dwarka. Now, before we start interacting with them, I would like to brief you a little bit about CS, as many of you already are aware that computer science is a fundamental subject in today's world that will benefit students in any career path. It not only gives them the room to flex their creativity, but also equips them with the tools to tackle some of the world's most pressing problems. How computer science is used and applied in the real world is a crucial part of learning computer science. That is why we are focusing on CS for Good as the theme for the Hour of Code activity today. This would help the students understand some of the challenges that people around the world face, and this would also inspire them to think more deeply about the role computer science can play in creating more equitable and sustainable world. As per me, it is clear to many how computer science can make a positive impact in our world, from self-driving car technology that can make our roads safer to data science techniques that can identify disease earlier and keep us healthier. So when we consider CS for good, we get inspired to think about the potential of artificial intelligence, and that is why we are introducing Code.org's Hour of Code activity, AI for Oceans today. In this activity, you will learn about AI, machine learning, training data, and bias, all while exploring the ethical issues and how AI can be used to address world problems. It is also just one example because computer science is a vast subject. So this AI would be just one example to show how computer science is about much more than coding. It is just not dragging the blocks out of the toolbox, staking them together, putting them under the when run, and clicking on the run button to see how your computer is getting programmed or how it is following the instructions from top to the bottom. So this is a complete new journey, and I hope you all will enjoy your first step in this new journey to learn more about AI. Those who are completely new to the computer science, this activity would actually help them develop a basic understanding of CS concepts. So with this, I would like to invite our guest of the day, Vikas Choudhary, the co-founder and chief technology officer at Porter.in. So we welcome you, Vikas, here. Hi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Niranjana, and thank you, CodeTigers, for having me and for organizing this activity.
Yeah,
Very
just tell
excited.
us a bit about Porter and about your journey so far.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Vikas. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Porter.in. Porter.in is a platform that connects small businesses to large businesses and consumers with local truckers for their last mile transportation needs. We also help businesses optimize their last mile operations by providing them insights into the last mile delivery operations. Porter is the largest intra-city trucking platform in India with over 70,000 trucks and over a million customers and presence in 6 Indian cities. Um, as a CTO at Porter, I handle the engineering, analytics, and data science and product management functions at Porter.
All right, so that is great to know, Vikas here. And our young coder of the day is Priyanshu Halder. Priyanshu, would you introduce yourself?
Yes,
Oh,
I love coding because it's fun and I love the puzzles in it.
all
My
right. So
name
you, yeah, carry on.
is yes, yes.
All right. So, Priyanshu, you can present your screen, and what are you going to teach us today?
I am going to share AI for oceans.
All right.
Great.
So Priyanshu is going to help all of us walk through the hour of code activity, that is AI for oceans. So for that, all the viewers, you need to type code.org in your address bar, and when you click enter, a new page like this would appear in front of you. You have to click on learn to the left hand side, top left hand side of your screen. You can see just next to code, learn is there. So when you click on learn, yes, Priyanshu, scroll it up so that you can see many hour of code activities. So once you click on learn, you can see many hour of code activities are there. And here Priyanshu is going to opt for AI for oceans. So once you click on AI for ocean, you will get the option of try now. So you need to click on try now. So here in the beginning, you will see a video first. So this video basically gives important context around the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So Priyanshu, let us watch the video first.
Yes.
Yeah.
My name is Ale Flores, and I'm a product manager at Alexa.
My name is Dr. Chelsea Haupt. I work at the Allen Institute for Artificial Intelligence, and I work on an AI-powered academic search engine. All around you, computers are making decisions, and those decisions affect your daily life. When you do an internet search or scroll through your newsfeed, computers decide what you see. Computers can already recognize your face and understand your voice. And soon they'll be driving cars and detecting diseases even better than humans. So how is any of this possible?
You may have heard about something called AI, or artificial intelligence. True artificial intelligence is decades away. There's a type of AI called machine learning that is here today. It's a type of AI you probably interact with every day without even knowing it. And it has the opportunity to help us tackle some of the world's biggest challenges.
Machine learning is how computers recognize patterns and make decisions without being explicitly programmed. What's so exciting is that it's a completely different way to program a computer than what we've ever done before. With machine learning, instead of programming a computer step by step, you can program a computer to learn just like you learn, through trial and error and lots of practice.
Learning comes from experience, and that's true for machine learning too. In this case, experience means lots and lots of data. Machine learning can take in any kind of data: images, video, audio, or text, and begin to recognize patterns in that data. Once it learns to recognize patterns in the data, it can also learn to make predictions based on those patterns, like noticing the difference between an image of a car and an image of a bicycle.
AI and machine learning are playing a bigger and bigger role in society at large and shaping all of our futures. That's why it's so important to learn how it works with some hands-on experience. You're about to get the chance to train your own machine learning model. Remember, AI is like any tool. First you get the knowledge, then you get the power.
So here, Vikas, in this video, it was talking all about AI and machine learning. Can you just elaborate a little bit more so that everybody, they can differentiate between the artificial intelligence and the machine learning? Can you please help us explain it in a much easy way?
Sure. I think the explanation was great, but I'll try to explain it in an alternative manner. So, artificial intelligence is, as the word sounds right, artificial intelligence, which is a broad concept of machines being able to carry out tasks that we would call intelligent or smart. For example, it could be anything from the way it detects spam emails on your inbox to the way it generates recommendations to you when you, let's say, browse YouTube or Netflix, or the way it drives cars. Now, any of these tasks we could also do. We as humans could also do. We can drive a car. We can see an email and recognize if it's spam or not, and like find out videos that we like. If a machine can carry out the same task, then that's when we call it intelligent, smart, and artificial intelligence. So it's a broad concept. Machine learning is a very specific. It's a subset of artificial intelligence. It's actually a technique for realizing AI. And what machine learning actually means is that machine can learn, like the lady in the video said, right? She said it is actually teaching the machines to recognize patterns and learn from them, and then they can make decisions themselves, right? That's exactly what machine learning is. You provide machines a lot of data, and based on that data, they synthesize some features or attributes, and those attributes enable them to create models that help them make future predictions. So if you have to think of an analogy, think of how you learn about the world, right? When you're little, like Priyanshu, when you know what a dog is, you know what a cat is, but somebody taught you this thing, like somebody pointed to a dog and said, this is a dog, this is a cat. Then they pointed to a wide variety of dogs. And now, even if you see a new breed of dog, let's say, you can still recognize it. So brain has learned to extract some features. It has a snout, it has paws, and now you can recognize a dog even if you haven't seen a breed before. So that's exactly how machines also learn. You feed them a lot of data, they extract patterns out of that data, and then that helps them create decisions in the future.
Yeah, exactly. So the way in computer science language, maybe the way we have programmed our minds. Now Priyanshu is going to help program the AI here, right? So those who have joined in right now, I'll just give you a brief. Like you have to type code.org, and a new page would open of code.org. You have to click on learn and choose AI for ocean. This is the activity that we'll be doing today. And the purpose of this activity is to introduce students to machine learning, a type of artificial intelligence. And children will explore how training data is used to enable a machine learning model to classify the new data here. Yes? So Priyanshu, now you can explain further.
So the brain is like an AI. So it learns everything which you say.
Yes, so after this video, you will click on the continue, and then you will explain us step by step how we will proceed. So before you start,
Garbage dumped in the water affects marine life. In this activity, you will program or train AI, artificial intelligence, to identify fish or trash. Let's clean up the ocean. Click anywhere on the screen to continue. Let us meet AI. AI does not know if an object is a fish or trash, but it can process images and identify patterns. To program AI, use the buttons to label an image as fish or not fish. The training you provide will teach AI to recognize patterns on its own. Let's get started. This is a fish. This is also a fish. This is not a fish. This doesn't look like a fish. This looks like a fish. Did you know 17 billion pounds of plastic enter the ocean each year? You are programming or training AI with each click. Keep going. This is a fish. This is also a fish. This is not a fish. That's a fork. No, definitely not a fish. This is also a fork. Definitely not another fish. This is a banana peel, not a fish. This is a fish. This also looks like a fish. This is not a fish. And this is also not a fish. Did you know 80% of ocean pollution comes from debris, land debris, and it's estimated to cost $13 billion per year. AI learns from your choices. If you make wrong choices, AI will repeat your mistakes. Keep training. Not fish. This is a fish. Not a fish. This is a fish. This is not a fish. That's a tire. This is a fish. This is also a fish. 1 second. I need to.
So here you will see
This
machine
is
learning.
This
Yeah.
is also a fish. This is also a fish. This doesn't look like a fish. This isn't a fish. This is also a fish. This looks like it's not a fish.
Priyanshu, what happened to your camera? I would like to watch you.
Why AI, the more it learns. Keep training AI or continue when ready. I think it's time to continue.
Good job, Priyanshu. I think you're good enough to intern at Porter, the way you're going.
Now let's see if AI knows what a fish looks like. AI will analyze a random set of objects and label them based on your training.
So did you train it enough, Priyanshu? Or you think that some more training is required?
I don't need any more
Why
training.
don't why don't we see the results, Priyanshu, and then we
Okay,
can
let us see.
Yes.
let's see how we did.
Oopsies. I saw a piece of trash that came with the fish. I saw a lot of trash. That was
Yes,
dumped.
it is there. And here you will see that to program the AI, we have used the buttons to label an image as either fish or not fish.
Okay, let us continue.
Right. So I think just to like add on to what Niranjana was saying, you if you see the mistakes that the AI did, they
Based
can be
on
classified. Yeah, sure, Priyanshu, go ahead.
based on your based on your training, here are some objects that AI identified as fish. How did AI do? Click here to switch between objects identified as fish and not fish.
So can you see the arrow here on
You
top?
can train AI more,
So there's a tick button in
or you
green
can
box.
continue.
Priyanshu, there's a tick button in the green box. If you click on that, you will
Yes.
see all the objects that you selected.
But these are
Yes.
wrong.
Right.
But
So,
there's three
Priyanshu, as
wrong.
you can see, there are two kinds of
Yes.
errors. One error is when the AI model incorrectly classified trash as fish. So, it is an
Yes.
example of a false positive, which means
Okay.
it incorrectly did a positive match, false positive. The other kind of error is when it incorrectly recognized a fish as
Okay.
trash. That's an example of a false negative. It was an incorrect negative response. So false positive indicate the accuracy of your AI model, how accurately it is able to recognize something as fish or trash.
Okay.
Whereas false negatives indicate the coverage. Was it able to recognize all the fishes as accurate or not? So these two are very important principles to judge the efficacy of an AI model: accuracy and coverage.
Also, Vikas, do you think we need to train it more because the more data,
Yeah,
training data is there? So how would
right,
it impact the result?
right. So think of how you learn, Priyanshu. When you point out something right incorrectly on the road, your mom might correct you and say, "Oh no, this is not a cat. This is actually a small dog." And then you recognize, oh, some dogs can also look a little like some shaggy dogs can look like a cat. But then you'll recognize the pattern and you'll improve your thinking so that in future you'll start to recognize shaggy dogs also as dogs. So you'll improve your model. So with more data, with more information, your internal model, your internal mode of thinking also improves. So similarly, AI works in a similar manner, and the more you train it, the more better it becomes. So if you indicate to them, this is not trash, this is actually a fish, it'll improve its thinking. So let's train it a little more. Is there an option to train it a little
Yes,
more?
it is there. Priyanshu, please click on train mode.
Now let us see what happens if we feed the wrong data. Let us see. Now let us continue and see what happens. But it's actually, oh yeah. Now let us continue. But first let us finish.
So those who have joined us just now, I'll just refer to you about what is machine learning. So machine learning refers to a computer that can recognize patterns and make decisions without being explicitly programmed. So in this activity, what are we going is we are supplying the data to train our own machine learning model, and we are just imagining an ocean that contains creatures like fish, but it also contains trash dumped by humans. So that is how we are training our computer to tell the difference.
Now
And
let us
then,
continue.
yeah, we are using technology to help clean the ocean here.
There's two wrongs in here. No.
So when you click on these two buttons, you can see the images that you have chosen and that you rejected.
Now let us continue.
All right, Vikas, so can you please tell us a little bit more about the career options in AI?
Oh, well, everything and anything, right? So think about, just look at the world around you, and anything that you think a human is doing right now or anything a human can do, AI, theoretically, AI can also do. So if you drive a car, AI can drive a car. If you have a job, like anything and everything in the world around you can be programmed. As an AI researcher, your job will be to build models which can help people in, let's say, medicine recognize cancer early, or people reduce instances of fraud during online payments, etc. So the opportunities are endless. As a career, as professionally speaking, it's one of the most highly rated and highest paid career opportunities out there. So opportunities are endless.
And Priyanshu, did you realize that you just got your first job offer here right now? Vikas offered you your first job. Did you realize that? Can you thank you? Can you say thanks to
Thank you.
Vikas for that?
Thanks, Priyanshu. Welcome to join us anytime in Bangalore.
Okay.
That's great. Now continue, Priyanshu.
So far, we trained AI to identify objects as either fish or not fish. What if this training data was used to decide what belonged in the water? What would happen to other sea creatures? Does our training approach cause unintended consequences? Let us see. Did you notice AI Did you notice that AI identified some sea creatures as not fish? While these sea creatures are not fish, they do belong in the water. AI only learns what we teach it. Let's train AI again. Let's teach AI to learn which objects should be in the water. In the ocean, plastic debris can harm fish, seabirds, and marine mammals. Protecting seabirds and marine life is one of many reasons to keep the oceans clean. The more training data you provide, the more AI learns. Keep training.
And here you can see Priyanshu, each image and label becomes part of the data that is used to train AI to do things
Yes.
on its own.
Marine plastic pollution has impacted at least 267 species worldwide, including 86% of all sea turtle species. Keep training to teach AI what belongs in the water. No. Yes. 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 No. Yes. No. Yes. Great work. The more data you provide AI, the better it will to do. Keep training AI or continue when ready. Yes. This does belong in the water. This also does. No. I think it's time to continue, but first I need to get the seahorse. Yes. Continue. Do you think AI will now do a better job identifying what should be in the water? Let's watch. Oh no, there are so many errors.
So I guess you need to train or program your AI more. Yes, Priyanshu?
Yes.
So that the result would be more accurate and you can reduce the number of errors here.
Now let's continue. Based on your training, here are some objects that AI identified as belongs in water. Now, how did AI do?
I can see the trash here.
I should train more. Yes, 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 also. Yes, yes. No, no, no.
So as the result was not very accurate, I guess. Yeah, Vikas.
No, nothing. I was just saying, Priyanshu, that was a sea otter. That was, yeah.
They only swim for prey. They don't live underwater.
Oh, wow. I learned something new.
You have a class with him and he'll teach you so many new things.
He's so smart.
Very smart. There are many questions in the chat box. Let him finish with this, then I'll ask you one question that is
Sure.
related to the national education policy because
Oopsies.
somebody has put up here.
Mhm.
Now let us continue again.
A lot of training is required, Priyanshu. There are many errors here, right?
But let us just continue.
Okay.
After this is done. Yes, now let us continue. I think continue.
Okay, you have trained enough. All right, so Priyanshu, before starting with the video, I'll ask a question here because somebody has put up in the chat box, like just 4 days back, because the government has come up with the National Education Policy 2020, which will focus on the experiential learning, and it will it will be emphasizing more on the life skills like problem solving, creativity, computational thinking, reasoning, etc. And that is why they have included code, or they will be introducing code from grade 6 onwards. So,
Okay.
what are your views about that?
Well, it's a great move. Honestly speaking, if you think about it, programming is it's a way of thinking. It's about problem solving, thinking logically, and like breaking down a problem in steps to find a solution. And these skills are important regardless of what industry, job, profession you may choose later on in your life, and you can apply them anywhere. um, these general purpose concepts, I think, should definitely be part of the curriculum. For example, if you think about it, um, we all fly in airplanes, but getting a pilot's license is not part of a K2 curriculum. But however, like, the tools you need to understand how to think about flying are part of the curriculum, like physics and maths to help you understand concepts around gravity, velocity, lift are part of the curriculum. Biology teaches you um, uh, how the human body behaves at, let's say, high altitudes, lower temperatures, lower pressure. History explains how the planes were developed, how they're used in warfare, how the commercial application of it was developed. And by the time you graduate high school, you have an understanding of what a plane is, how it operates, and how to use it safely. So general purpose classes like physics, maths, biology, and history teach you how to think about a wide variety of topics. Now you can use the same principles and can understand like anything and everything. Similarly, like, the goal of computer science is to teach your brain new general purpose thinking principles or mental models, uh, which might have wide applications, right? Not just in the tools of trade like AI, etc. And as technology becomes more and more ubiquitous, I think these new ways of thinking will become just as important, if not more important, than physics, maths, biology, and history. So it's having it as a part of the curriculum is definitely a good move. Not familiar with the nitty gritties of other parts of the policy, but having it coding being part of the curriculum early on is definitely a welcome move.
Yeah. So finally,
Yeah.
we are very happy that they have included this as a compulsory subject now, because it is very important to enhance your life skills, and it is a complete package. Coding is a complete package where you can learn about all the various life skills. So
Yeah.
that's a great move, and we are very happy about that. Yes, Priyanshu, now you can play your video. So now we are entering the second part of this activity.
Machine learning is only as good as the training data you put into it. So it's super important to use high quality data and lots of it. But if data is so important, it's worth asking, where does training data come from? Often, computers are collecting training data from people like you and me without any effort on our part. A video streaming service might keep track of what you watch, then it can recognize patterns in that data to recommend what you might want to watch next. Other times, you're directly asked to help, like when a website asks you to spot street signs and photos. You're providing training data to help a machine learn to see and maybe even one day drive. Medical researchers can use medical images as training data to teach computers how to recognize and diagnose diseases. Machine learning needs hundreds and thousands of images and training direction from a doctor who knows what to look for before it can correctly identify disease. Even with thousands of examples, there can be problems with the computer's predictions. If X-ray data is only collected from men, then the computer's predictions may only work for men. It may not recognize diseases when asked to diagnose the X-ray of a woman. This blind spot in the training data creates something called bias. Bias data favors some things and deprioritizes or excludes others. Depending on how training data is collected, who is doing the collecting, and how the data is fed into the computer, there is a chance that human bias is included in the data. By learning from biased data, the computer may make biased predictions. This can happen whether the people training the computer are aware of it or not. So when you are looking at training data, ask yourself 2 questions. Is this enough data to accurately train a computer? And does this data represent all possible scenarios and users without bias? This is where you, as the human trainer, can play a crucial role. It's up to you to give your machine unbiased data. That means collecting tons of examples, often from lots of different sources. Remember, when you pick and choose data for machine learning, you're actually programming the algorithm using training data instead of code. The data is the code. The better the data you provide, the better the computer will learn.
So here, Priyanshu, again, I'll ask a question to Vikas. Vikas, what do you think? Like how your training data influence the artificial intelligence, or what role does this bias play in feeding the training data to program your artificial intelligence?
Right. So AI bias is currently a huge problem. We haven't truly figured out a solution yet. It's a very complex problem. Um, Honestly speaking, it's not something that's new. AI, as we just saw, right? Priyanshu just expertly showed it to us how it relies on training data, which can include biased human decisions, or like the lady in the video said, if you like teach it that only males for a particular job are what's being fed into the system, then it'll recognize that yeah, men are what are likely to be selected for this job. They haven't been trained any data which shows that this woman profile is good enough for the job too. So they are a reflection of our historical or social inequalities around, let's say, gender, race, or sexual orientation, and it's not something that it's their problem. It's actually our problem. It's a problem around the data and the world that we live in. But they have done a good thing of highlighting it to us that our decisions are sometimes motivated by some inbuilt bias, and it's our job to be aware of them and to consciously work towards removing it. Now, as far as the problem of removing it right now, it's a difficult problem. Hopefully, Priyanshu's generation will do a far better job at it than we are doing. We're trying hard. Lots of like smart people are working on this problem, and what we need to ensure is, again, like the lady said, that whatever models we build are fair to everyone. So what we need to check for is fairness, that if the model is, let's say, working on profiles, those profiles, the training data we feed is good enough, is fair to each race, each gender, and doesn't create bias. It's a hard problem, but we're working on it.
Yeah, very true, Vikas. So some ways, I guess, to address the bias are to use a larger or
Yeah.
more inclusive set of training data. So in the final part of the activity, maybe we are going to teach AI a word that could be interpreted in different way. Yes, Priyanshu? You can click on continue now.
1 second. Artificial intelligence and machine learning can be used to teach a computer new patterns. Let's teach AI a new word by showing it examples of type of the type of fish.
Okay, so here, Priyanshu, even though the word in this level are fairly objective, it is quite possible that the students will end up with different results based on their training data, right?
Do you think AI has enough training data? You can click continue to find out. I think I should do more.
Priyanshu, the way you taught the model is it's something similar that Google also uses to like add additional information to photos around the internet, right? They have access to
Okay.
all the images, etc., around, and this is the same technology that Google uses to add information to images. That when you search for red fish on Google, it shows you images of red fishes. So it's not like somebody marked all those images. Google extracted the information out of those images using similar techniques to the ones you're using. So it's actually used a lot more than you would realize. AI is everywhere.
With
Yeah, so
your
this
training,
was a great example of AI from our real life or the real world here. Yes,
with
Priyanshu?
with your training data, you have programmed AI to recognize red fish. Let's see AI identify red fish.
Now, because what Priyanshu is doing right now, he got the opportunity because he got enrolled into coding, but not every child is getting this opportunity. So, otherwise, they all are talented, they all are intelligent, provided them the opportunity, like, for coding and all. So, I would really put up a question here, like if you were to transform one thing in the Indian education system, so what would that be? Because apart from coding, there are still many other things. Yeah, national education policy has really worked tremendously into coming up with
Mhm.
new ideas. So anything else that you would like to?
Right. So, as we discussed earlier, also, critical thinking and problem solving are some of the areas um, which I think the NEP also is emphasizing conceptual understanding, emphasizing on critical thinking and boosting creativity. I think these are again widely applicable skills, and problem solving is something you'll do across your career. So I think what we should do is foster like curiosity in students, promote asking question, encourage asking questions to them, and uh, really reward them when they show critical thinking, when they question the status quo and ask why is something being done the way it is. And I think that'll have a much more impact, if not as important as the other topics that we teach in school. So I think critical thinking and encouraging curiosity and problem solving is a must, and we should find more and more avenues to do it. What CodeTigers and Ranjana, you have been doing with this exercise is a brilliant example of that. This is an excellent example of exposing children to new decision making and new mental models.
Now can you read?
That's great. Yeah, Priyanshu, just a second. There's your teacher has written something. Yamini is your teacher. She has written that she is very proud to be your teacher. Even I'm very proud to be your teacher. So you can thank her for that.
Yes.
Yes, you can continue. He's very focused.
Based on your training, AI identified these fish as red. How did AI do? You can train more if you want to improve the results. Click on the info button to see what AI learned. Info. Body, that's a lot. Colors, yeah. Now let's click on check. These are right. Okay, now let us continue.
Yeah, so here you can see by clicking on the information button, we can see that AI is very confident here that the body, I guess the body is the most important component overall in the fish. Okay, so it has determined it as the opted option here. Yes, Priyanshu, you can click.
Okay, wait.
Cars use AI to recognize their surroundings, track objects, and make super important decisions, like when to stop. Machine learning is already being used in some really amazing things. It's allowing us to be more energy efficient. We use it to improve how we grow food and manage natural resources. It's dramatically changing how we diagnose diseases and create new medicines. It's even helping the blind see.
I think it's a man jumping in the air doing a trick on a skateboard.
But there are also risks. Consider the potential impact when machine learning is used to evaluate candidates for college admission, screen applicants for bank loans, or even predict crime or spot criminals. When using machine learnings in these types of applications, we need to make sure not to use prejudiced training data that would perpetuate human bias.
As AI and machine learning change everything, it's important that you have a hand in how they're being used. More than any other technology, AI has the potential to revolutionize our lives for the better, so long as it's done in a way that avoids bias that could cause harm or inequity. The most important thing about machine learning is human learning. Knowing how this technology works is the first step on your journey to using it for good.
Yes.
Yeah, you can click on continue so that we'll see what is there in the next activity.
Now let's see if AI can learn a less obvious word. Happy. I want happy.
So the words in the list are intentionally more subjective.
Let's teach AI a word that depends on your opinion. It is up to you to pick fish that match your word.
So we'll ask Vikas, Priyanshu will ask Vikas to choose a word from the options provided on the screen
Let's
here.
Okay.
let's go with Priyanshu. Let's go with happy. He seems like a very happy child.
No, I'm
Yes.
fast.
Oh, you're fast? Okay,
Fast.
let's go with fast. You're happy and fast.
So here the buttons and the images are helping
This
us.
no.
Yeah, these are the training data to program our artificial intelligence.
It's fast. I don't know if this is fast.
Yeah, fast is a difficult word to decide.
Let me just go back to this stage.
So that would depend upon a person's personal opinions.
You can click continue.
Yeah, click continue.
And I am happy actually. Now let's see if AI can oh no, I don't have to read this. I've already read it. Happy, yeah. Not happy. Not happy, not happy, not.
Somebody has asked in the chat box, what is this? So this is the R of code activity, AI for oceans. You can go to code.org, click on learn, and you will get the R of code activities. Out of that, you have to choose
Okay.
R of code AI for oceans. Click on try now and keep doing this activity.
Is it fair to use artificial intelligence to judge a fish by its looks? While AI might seem fair and neutral, its analysis comes from the training we provide. What unintended bias could this cause?
What do
So
you
that is
think?
a question. I guess Vikas would answer it well.
Yeah, so like I'll give you like a real world example. Like the
Priyanshu,
lady in the
wait.
video also said, right? Let's talk about like criminal justice. If we decide to like classify people as criminal or not criminal, taking a very very simplified view of the world, and let's say an AI model is deciding it, and let's say there have been some prejudices in the past which have led to people of certain race being um, um, like subject to prison time more, then AI, and if you feed the same biased data set to the model, then it'll start recognizing people of the same race as criminals even though they're not. So it's very important to be confident that what you're training your system is actually a fair, unbiased data. Similarly, in a fish example, let's say if you have like a fish that you recognize as like rowdy or angry, and you classify those as a threat to the society, that can create problems. Never judge like a book by its cover, as they say, Priyanshu. So it's important to be unbiased in your decision making and rely on the correct training data.
Yeah, and what is the best way to give the correct data to AI?
Priyanshu?
No, Priyanshu would not answer. Vikas, the question is for you.
By training it correctly, for example, what Priyanshu could do here is it can call the angry fishes happy. And while you might think that he is showing happy fishes, the model might yield all angry fishes as happy. So you have to train it correctly.
This looks happy.
And Priyanshu, you need to train more because every time he's escaping from training mode. So you have to feed in a lot of training data to program your AI. That would also help. As it was said in the earlier video, that a lot of practice is required, a lot of experience. And what is the experience here?
The experience.
The number of data that you are entering. So you have to train more. Yes?
Okay. More
Train
training
more
data.
and train correctly.
Correctly. Yes. Very
Yeah.
good.
More training data will help AI learn your word. Keep training. This looks happy. This looks very happy. That also. That doesn't. This also. Now this is the same fish. This looks happy. 42 is an even number, so I'll continue. With your training data, you have programmed AI to recognize happy fish. Let's say AI identify happy fish. Yeah, that's not happy. That was happy. That was also. That was happy. Now let us continue. Oops, I didn't read that. You can train it more. You can train more if you want to improve the results. Or you can teach it a new word. Or you can teach AI a new word by choosing new word. I'll just finish. Let me just. I stand. Oh, all of these are big.
So here you
Finish.
can see in the information, it is providing what is the main thing that, all right, Priyanshu is there on the certificate part in a hurry. So how did you find it all? Because like we did not get the opportunity when we were there in class 1 and class 2 to learn to code and, to explore artificial intelligence or to program artificial intelligence in such a beautiful way and fun way.
Yeah, I programmed the first time I programmed was in my first year of college. So Priyanshu, you are like much ahead than the rest of us, buddy. This was an excellent demonstration. I think it was engaging, fun, and I think it highlighted very important concepts in ML at a very young age. I think this will definitely help Priyanshu in his life, like the concepts around machine learning. And it was very engaging. I honestly had a lot of fun watching Priyanshu classify and train the data sets. So
And it is so easy
fantastic.
also.
Yeah,
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 if
it's very easy.
Priyanshu, he is there
Yeah,
in class 2, if he can train you about artificial intelligence and machine learning, so I guess it is very easy for everybody. So here somebody has written, I'm happy to see how India's future will be. Yes, even we are very glad to see this. So everything is available. Yes. So with this, Yeah, Dipti ma'am is there. Proud moment for parents and teachers. Proud moment for us as well, Dipti ma'am. Priyanshu has done. Okay, you are getting a lot of compliments, Priyanshu here. So because before leaving, what message would you like to convey to the educators, to the parents, to the students, to everybody, those who are watching this program?
Well, to the kids, like just stay curious, pay attention to the concept, to the fundamentals, and you'll do okay. You're like much further ahead, as I said, than the rest of us ever were. Just stay curious, try to learn as many concepts as you can, try to understand them deeply enough, and you'll be fine. To the parents, yeah, this is an excellent initiative. I wish there was something like this when I was growing up. I think more and more avenues like this to promote critical thinking, to promote problem solving skills need to come up, and you guys at CodeTigers are doing an excellent job, I would say, in bringing this to the attention of everyone, because I don't think coding is still very ubiquitous in India as it should be.
Yeah, and somebody has written, thank you very much for simplifying the complex terminologies that are used in computer science. So, all thanks to Vikas here. You made it so simple for everybody. That was amazing. So that everybody, it was very easy to understand for everyone, those who are not from the technical background, for them as well. And here you can see on the screen, Priyanshu has got a certificate of completion of hour of code activity. So if you were doing this activity along with us, you can also get the certificate. You just type your name inside, and congratulations everybody, those who did the activity with us, to get your first hour of code certificate. And many of the students, this might be your fourth hour code certificate, because this is the fourth live stream session of CodeTigers. And parents, you can spread the word. You can invite more and more people, your family members, your friends, to join in, so that we get the opportunity to train our future generation. Yes, this program happens every Sunday at 10 a.m. So you can join us on our Facebook page or the YouTube channel, so that we can, empower our future generation. Vikas, thank you so much for taking out your valuable time and for inspiring many people here around. Any message
Thank,
in the
no, just like Priyanshu, buddy, you're a superstar. I see a bright future ahead for you. And thanks a lot for taking us through the session. High five. High
Yeah, we
five, buddy.
do virtual high five. Yeah, this is a
Great.
protocol. Like after every class, we do a virtual high five so that we feel connected. And I try to keep a small group of students so that they can interact with each other, and they can make it fun. So that was great, Priyanshu. You did a wonderful job. Wonderful job. Everybody is so fond of you now. You are a superstar. You know that? Because I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. And thank you to you, Niranjana, as well. This was a great session. I had a lot of
Thank,
fun.
thank you, Vikas, for for motivating all the students here, and thank you so much, Priyanshu.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day ahead. You can say
Bye
thank
bye.
you to Vikas, Priyanshu. You can say thank you to Vikas. He believes in
Thank
taking
you.
compliments. All right. Have a nice day ahead. To all the viewers, every Sunday at 10 a.m., we'll come live on our Facebook page. So you can join us every Sunday at 10 a.m. And you can reach out to us through our Facebook page, or through a number that would be highlighted there on the screen, or that would be there in the chat box. Okay. So you can call on this number to know the details, or to know more about CodeTigers, or how to get your child enrolled into coding. Have a nice day ahead, all of you. Okay, bye bye, Vikas, and bye,
Thank
Priyanshu.
you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.